Yo! Chat! Top 500 Hog. Let's go. Okay, so Hog, here's the deal with Hog. So Hog is a flanking, like you look at every single off tank, and every single off tank has like map control, angle control in relation to main tank. Now main tank is all about clearing angles, but like they're not very good at like holding and sustaining and applying pressure from those angles, at least consistently. Like they're generally like bursts of value, bursts of creation of space while they're respecting map control. Off tanks oftentimes mid-fight are putting themselves on off angles because they're able to leverage pressure and hold space better for the team. Now you look at somebody like D.Va, short off angles. Zarya, short off angles. D.Va can utilize high ground and mobile off angles, so you can position yourself in a lot of different off angles. You look at a hero like Sigma, long sightline off angles, right? And he's a lot less flexible because he also is less mobile. So like generally where he's set up, that's where he's going to be for the most part. Now for you with Hog, it's a lot of the time the off angles are relatively more like you can be a lot more aggressive with your off angles. But here's the thing with Hog. Hog is high damage and he's self-sustained, but your flanks still have to kind of be around where your team is fighting. So in other words, if your team is fighting around on point, you can't be flanking in their spawn most of the time. Now you can get away with this sometimes in ranked, because the lack of coordination and the tumultuous situation of rank. Like I remember having a ranked game, I think it was like Masters, where we literally had like a Hogger spawn for like 3 minutes, right? And it was like we couldn't find him. I remember it was like Havana or some weird map, and we couldn't find him, and then like we just gave up, and then as soon as we gave up and pushed, he'd flank and kill somebody behind, right? So it's like it's about kind of like utilizing that aspect of Hog, but that's not the only aspect of Hog that you can play. Like Hog should never be stacked on main, like ever. But you can, like, for example, you could start like here, right? And that wouldn't be a problem. That would be fine. And then what you do is you start here, you start here, you're spamming, they walk through the choke, and then you threaten this flank here, right? Or you start here, and then you go off to Narnia, and now they're thinking, okay, is he gonna come under? Is he gonna come over? Is he gonna come back this way, right? Because the thing with Hog is that you really are a burst hero. You're a burst of value hero. I'm trying to think of like what's a good analogy. Similarly to how like an Ana might flank for a nade or a sleep dart, but she can't stay because she doesn't find a lot of value after that, and she needs to go back and heal her tanks. You're in the same way, like you need to land that hook like an Ana needs to land that nade on the flank. And if you don't, then your value dips hard. So for example, in this situation here, you might go, okay, we're gonna fight around a point, we're gonna go flank this way, we're gonna reach around this way. You need to land this hook on the backline, otherwise your value gets hard. Now, you will bait attention, you will take pressure off of your team, you might force some cooldowns, but that's not really good enough. You need to be consistent with it. So we're gonna kind of look at our timing here. We're gonna look at the placement of our flanks, and also we're gonna make sure that we are indeed consistently flanking. Otherwise, the value of the hero just isn't there. I think there's this mindset, top 500 Hog. There's this mindset that people that watch that one meta in Overwatch League, Roadhog, Zarya versus Dive, and they're like, oh, well, Hog functions as the main tank. That's like hot, steaming horse manure. Sorry. Like Hog and at that time was stronger than he was now in terms of damage. Like he has been buffed, but he was stronger then. But also, they were playing it into a hard dive where he was almost like he couldn't split as much because the hard dive had Reaper and they had Sombra, so they could basically threaten him on the off angles where he couldn't split as aggressively, right? Whereas his Ashe, his own Sombra / Tracer could. Now, unless you're playing it to hard dive with a Reaper or Sombra, something that can actually threaten you on that flank and kill you, then you really should be flanking. Hog is excellent at controlling places of the map, just lurking in these locations and making it the enemy team scared to even go there in the first place. He is the best 1v1 here in the game. Next to, I mean, he's better than Tracer. Like usually, I'd put my money slightly on Hog, and he's also very good at controlling parts of the map that are very valuable. In other words, he was run way back in Overwatch League days as a part of triple tank defensive hold on first time Junkertown defense, because you would put a Hog on the left flank and your Orisa was on main and your D.Va was on high ground and you have a sniper here, and Hog would just basically make sure that they could never send a sniper on this side of the map ever. because if the sniper went there, the Hog would kill them. So it was like controlling that entire area of the map just with Hog, all while threatening hooks and other things elsewhere. Okay, now I'm sorry for kind of going on a tangent here. We always do this with heroes that we haven't reviewed before, but that's kind of the deal with Hog. Okay, so his damage has been buffed. So it will be interesting to see how successful he is. As a hero, I still think he's bad. In other words, his design. I think that he's very fun with landing hooks. I think he definitely has a niche that he belongs in. But I also think just the fact that he has no armor, he has no defensive peel capabilities. Even every off tank has a capability to peel in some way, shape, or form. Either with shield, shift, bubbles, matrix, booster boop, things like that. Hog has hook, but hook used defensively is significantly less valuable than it is used offensively, unlike bubble, unlike matrix, unlike shield, which can be found value on defensive and offensive purposes. Hook just isn't as good. Hooking the enemy Winston that's already made the space to dive your backline just isn't as valuable as hooking a squishy. So Hog is one of those rare tanks where he really does function like a DPS. He does hold space, he does create space like an off tank, but every other off tank besides him do protect their team in some way, shape, or form. He does not. He does not whatsoever. He has no potential to protect his team, and the fact that he bleeds ult charge in higher ranks makes it a lot more awkward to play. Okay, let's go. And you can already see, like, this is your part of the map. Now, to be honest, I'm not sure that this is the part of the map that you should be playing. Well, it should be spamming here and going here. This is a short-range sight lane, and ironically, Hog is bad at that. He has a shotgun, but he's not very good in close ranges because it's easier to punish him and to land CC on him. His hook has basically a long distance range, and that's what you generally want to be playing with Hog. Is cover, but bursts with long range, right? Or at least options. So I'm wondering if just not rolling out here against most of the time would work. Especially with like how valuable the high ground is on attackers. Like there's soldiers, there's Hanzos that you can deny, there's the hooks that you can threaten soldier and BAP, and what they have to do to dislodge you is very awkward. They have to go all the way up the stairs or all the way around the way. So I'm not sure that us rolling out low ground is better. There's Hog, ladies and gentlemen, Hog. I wouldn't even bother. Okay, I guess you're looking for hooks here. We need to reload. We need to reload. Okay, so this is the problem. So we're fishing for a hook, but look at where we're fishing for a hook. You're up one, I get it. But their BAP is now back. So the next fight has already started, and while you're fishing for a hook late in poke stage, do you see what's the problem with our positioning right now? I'm gonna keep zooming out. I'm gonna keep zooming out. I'm gonna keep zooming out for you. I'm gonna keep zooming out for you. Okay, there you go, about right there. Do you see the problem here? Your chances of landing a hook here are next to none because there's nothing distracting the enemy team from the threat of hook. That's all they're thinking about right now is a Roadhog hook. You're 1v6ing. Now you're Roadhog, you're going to get out fine. But the very fact that you're looking for a hook here when the BAP has clearly come back is completely moronic. And not only that, because it's not just that, right? This decision is not only could potentially cost you your hook, but it's gonna cost this too, right? It's gonna cost your vape. It's gonna cost your vape because now you're in a position to actually like shoot and or flank again, right? You even have sonic bow information, but you don't have vape, and you're not ready to. You're not in position yet, are you? You're gonna be late. Look at you, you're late. And now we go in the flank, but their backline is already rotated, and now you're worthless. So your timing is atrocious here. I'm physically ill at what we're seeing right now. This is offensive to me. Because if we look at the timing of when you should have been fishing for hook, not now, but now. Because now is when there's attention being paid and bought here by Zarya, Zen, Mercy, whatever that thing is. That's Ashe, right? And look at backline. Right? You look at Sigma. Look at BAP. Look at Hanzo. Look at, right? This is it. And you're not there. And you don't have vape either. So your timing is atrocious. Your timing of when you look for the flank is bad because you were pushed up fishing for early hooks. Fishing for early hooks, the return on investment is just not there. It's just not there. It's not there. You either go, oh, we got to pick, guys, let's push, which is going to be difficult with double off tank, or you got to pick, guys. All right, it's fine. We're just gonna waste time. I'm gonna set up for my next hook. And again, you could have gone back and gone high ground here as well, because like look at the pressure you would have had from here. You could have just disappeared. That would have kept them. That would have really thrown them off. I mean, that would have really thrown them off. They would have not looked for you. They would have just gone, okay, we're just gonna push, and then or they would have been like, okay, where is this guy, right? Instead, you're just in the same spot, telegraphing the entire world to your position, and you're instantly checked. You can't even push this. Like, I respect that you're on the flank. Like, good job. We're putting some pressure out. But it's like, you know, it's like a middle schooler spelling cat correctly. Well, good job, I guess. And your pressure here is so low. Like a hook on a Ryan that's gonna get lamped and then shifted, and you're getting your backline smashed. And now what's gonna happen is, because you're playing double off tank, and because you're playing double off tank poorly, your backline's gonna have to rotate all the way out. They can't hold space anymore because there's nothing really stopping the enemy team from pressing W. Your job isn't to hook Reinhardt's whenever possible. Your job is to stop this from happening and this from happening, and to kill one of these guys so that Reinhardt has no lifeline, right? That Reinhardt has no additional pressure, and you're probably gonna lose your Zen on this rotation. And then you get your vape rocked. I mean, it doesn't matter, it's over. So you cost your team that fight. So much of Hog's value is about being unpredictable and sneaky. Okay. Oh, we're bobbing through a choke. That's a throw. Why did you stop? Why did you stop? Why did you stop? Why did you stop? Oh, did you call that okay, maybe you called that you're gonna grab, but this is no good. I don't know why you go back. I don't know, like, look at what your McCree does. Look what your McCree does. Look what Raven does. Like, look what you could be doing here. Look what you could be doing here. This is the backside of the enemy team. There's squishies here, right? There's pressure here. There's so much pressure that you can put from the side of the map. And also, these guys really want to utilize this flank if they can to help them break the choke, right? This choke is hard to break even if you don't have a main tank. So they're going to send Soldier on a flank. They're going to try and send, I don't know, like Hanzo on a flank. And you could stop this. Like, you could stop this. You can pressure this. And then you can at least make the backline do really, really stupid and awkward things. Like, this is unbelievable. Like, I guess this is just thinking or hearing that, oh, we're going to grab, so I'm just going to make sure I'm there for grab. But I hope that's why you did. This falls in the category of your timing is totally off, and you're kind of just not paying attention to the way the battlefield is going. Your game sense is lacking here. You're missing two, okay? You're missing two. Your BAP and I think your Ash. Yeah, so you're missing two, so your team is cutting off. So this is not the enemy team's kill box. This is not your team's kill box right now. This is not where your team is taking the fight. So there's going to be no follow-up. There's no distractions. This team can unironically keep their BAP on cart and they just speed as 5 and go find you and kill you, because there's nothing to stop them. You should, as immediately as soon as you lost to, you should have been piecing out this way, run, and you can like hide in old spawn or something like that, and then we can like find value around here once your respawns are back, right? So we talked about like living backline, but you can't. First off, you can't give away your position on the backline too early, and I'm not so sure that that's a consistent playstyle either. Oh, come on, dude. To be honest, you're thinking too much about the hook. Like, you need to land this primary fire right here. So, like, right here, you need to actually force recall. Like, right now, shoot. Shoot. Or at least melee bait, right? To force that last blink, because there's nothing that even forces that last blink from her. Or she's on her last blink now. And then you could just whole hog this. Yeah, I don't know. Because the thing with Tracer is not just that, oh, it's like, oh, it's a stalemate kind of thing. It's also, she feeds your position to her team, right? Which reduces your value, right? Now, she doesn't really want to be 1v1ing a hog. But she can also just basically say, hey, watch out, here he's coming. And there you go, right? So now you're just completely worthless. This is why I don't want you going for this. Because once they like, remember, they're not going to forget. You need to keep them guessing. Too late. You guys have lost. No, you guys lost the player. Unlucky. So yeah, your value is going to be this area in here, and you could probably use whole hog as well to clear it if need be, because peaks like this, peaks like this, you know, even like rotating around this way and hiding here if you can, that's going to be where you find value as a hog. Okay, you need to wait just a few more seconds, just for them to come a little bit further forward into your Zenyatta LOS, right? So, like again, you want to be waiting until they're actually like closer, so you don't get your resources burned early. 3, 2, 1. Okay, yeah, now we go. It's fine, and there you go. Oh, how? You're 4.4, dude. This isn't preschool. How do you miss a hook like this, man? He's right there. He's right there. I mean, okay, so you clear the flank, but you've used both your resources and your pressure is now dog. This man couldn't hook the broadside of a barn. It moves too much. Oh, there's an earthquake. The sun got in my eyes. All right, here we go. Okay, everyone's seen that trick. Okay, now here's the thing though, okay? Here's the thing. Are we gonna actually push an advantage? No. So much ult charge. Oh, okay. Wait, what? This is top 500. This is where I just don't, our whole mindset is wrong. Because here's what it's like. Here's what it's like, okay? If you're up like 3 and you got a grab or something like that, or that Ryan's low, sure. This is what this is like, okay? What we're doing now is like you're MMA fighting this big burly dude, okay? And the man you just like bruised his leg to bits. Like he's hobbling, okay? He's actually like hobbling because you've been kicking him to bits, right? But instead of like continuing to kick him or like take him down and then like, you know, pummel him from there, it's like you it's like you get up close and you give him a bear hug and you try to win via bear hug. No, that is not what you want to do. I don't care if he's injured or not. You don't go there. To take a guy down by playing to his strengths is a mistake. In other words, you go in here and you're like, all right, I want to push my advantage. Well, let's not walk in here, okay? Let's not walk in here. Let's not do that. And if you are, you probably should whole hog pretty early. Otherwise, you have nothing to provide here. This is still a Reinhardt with 2 supports and a tank and another tank. You're gonna be some serious crap. Instead, you're gonna spam as shield breaks, you push, or you're gonna do what your Hanzo's doing and push from here, shoot Sigma, or flank and shoot here. You push your advantage with what you're strong with, which is more spam and the threat of hook on backline, not by throwing your fat, ugly face inside a Reinhardt shield. Because you can see right here. Now, you baited your Zen into doing that. Your Zen shouldn't be here either. Oh, man. I mean, this is what you should be doing. This is good, but you need to hit it. Oh, he just juggles steps. That's actually kind of unfortunate. Yeah, so this is the problem here, okay? So I actually think, let me look at this again. I do think that when we were down, like I want you guys to look at the situation right here. What should our hog be doing? We missed the hook. What should we be doing now? Think about it. I'm gonna give you guys a couple seconds and then I'm just gonna answer, okay? 3, 2, 1, move here. Just go here. Walk through the shield and start shooting backline. Make the Sigma turn around. Make the BAP turn around. Think about like, oh gosh, there's a hog in our backline. Oh my gosh. Guys, stop. We got to push the hog, right? But now the hog's all the way over here. The problem with this right here is I respect just like clearing the tracer and killing the tracer, like that's good, but it's in a really small area of the map, and it's a part of the map where it's easier for the enemy team to keep tabs on us. Do you kind of see what I'm saying? Like this is less of a backline angle, this is less of an aggressive angle, so it's a lot less risky. So I don't like this. I would have liked us to go in here, and this gives us the option of like, oh shoot the Widow, we can go kill the Widow, we can threaten to kill on the BAP. Instead we go inside. She uses all three of her bling, she's dead. You whole hog, but you don't know the status of his shift. So that's mistake number one. Right? And then now you're dead. And then there's no backline pressure whatsoever. Now go right, go right, go right, go right, go right, go right. Go right. Go right. Go right. I mean, this isn't worthless. But this, again, like, you guys are holding here, you go here, and then you peek this, or you peek this, right? Or you can threaten here. I don't like this here. I mean, you do well against ball. That does give you value. I will give you credit for that. But you saw it there. Like, you're gonna get annihilated. Not to mention the fact that you're playing out in the open as well. So like, let's look at this here. If you are gonna play like this, your job is literally to sit right here. Not to do this. Not to do this. By the way, a little bit of micro for you guys, hog players out there. Did you hear that he got a headshot on a hooked ball? It's actually a little bit tricky, so I want you guys to look at how he headshots the ball. You see the jump there? So he's gonna jump, and then make sure that he gets like extra pellets on the head. Because you have to actually land pretty high in ball to land the headshot. So once again, you're playing into brawl. Right, you need to go right side. Exactly. You can't go here. What do you, like, you're gonna get, not only are you gonna be absolutely milked dry by the enemy DPS, but they're gonna push you in here. They're gonna rack you, they're gonna flash you, they're gonna rush you, you're gonna die. This is better when we were holding space because the enemy team had to walk into our space, so it was more expensive for them. But even then I wasn't 100% sure it was optimal, right? Remember I kind of wanted us to play like up here instead, right? Certainly so in our attack. I think you absolutely have to go up here, threaten maybe a hook here, and then drop up here, and then do this number. And think about the pressure that you'd put here, right? You're gonna force them to rotate away. They rotate away, you're gonna go up the stairs, you're gonna do it again. You're gonna force here, or you're gonna threaten here, or you're gonna threaten here, or you can go threaten underneath. Not in here, please don't go in here. Moral charge fed, you've created no space. Like, I'm sorry, like, just no, like, no, you don't get applause for this. You don't get applause for making a great mechanical play that he could have easily counterplayed. Like right there. He has shield here. No, you just don't get credit for this. No. And now look at you. Now look at you. You're worthless. You're worthless. You got worthless. Worthless. Even though you guys got 2 kills, you're still in a situation where you could theoretically lose this fight and where you did absolutely jack. I'm telling you, stop. If you break the fundamentals of Overwatch, you're going to get hit in the face with a brick. You're going to lose fights that you should have won, and fights that you do win, for sure, anyway, are going to feel bad. This is recontestable. And you lose to a McCree flank. Alright? And there we go. Like, again, completely shut down. Now, I don't think you really have time here to go all the way up to high ground. And there's no real point anymore. So I get what you're doing here. Like, I think this is actually the proper play now, considering of how devolved the fight is. You're threatening flank somewhere. But keep this in your head for future reference. This flank doesn't work that well into brawl. It just doesn't. It gets shut down instantly. And now we go back main and throw a hook and Sigma shield, instead of going back here and actually threatening the play again, which was now wide open. Just astonishing to me how so many people play this hero wrong. It's like a Brig, right? Brig like a year ago, dude, or like 6 months ago even. more like a year ago. Nobody had any idea how to play her at all. There's a reason why she just dropped off the face of the earth when she got nerfed, even though she was still like a very, very competent hero. Ah. Here we go again. Frontline hook, man, where everybody in the world can see it coming, everybody can juke it, and they can push you and spam you as you rotate. Like, look at you. You were full HP. You just step out one bit, and you're already half HP and getting a Valk pocket. And now here comes. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Oh, look at the value, guys. Look at the value. We're booping them. We're missing our hook. Uh-oh. And they still have high ground. You have not hooked anybody. You're being carried by your DPS right now. I hope you understand that. I'm done saying it. I'm not gonna keep repeating myself, right? A broke record is not fun to listen to. Please set up good flanks and angles that either have good cover and are at a slightly longer range against brawl comps, please. Thank you. That's it. Like, there's just nothing left to say. Like, this flank would be a lot more viable if they were like holding high ground with like double shield or something like that, or like they had sniper comps, right? Or they had like a solo Orisa point and they're like setting up flanks this way, or you could flank this way and then double back around, you know. But this is just not it into brawl. It's a short sight lane, and then you inevitably, without exception, end up shooting Rhine Shield and stacked on main. You guys have used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ultimates, and you've still lost. I mean, obviously it works. This guy hit 4.5 or whatever, right? At some point. Yes, there's value to be found here. But it's inferior. It's constantly and consistently inferior. This sort of stuff works in Diamond. Well, I mean, clearly it works in other ranks as well. That doesn't make it good. That doesn't mean it's good, though. And again, it's the same thing. It's like we use an ultimate to brute force them back out, and then they just go, okay, we'll absorb that, and then we're going to push forward into you. And because you guys have taken no space, because you've got nobody in high ground, and nobody in flanks, and nobody's here, we're just going to be able to W key right back on top of you, right? So if you're going to make them kite out, at least have the dignity of holding like a concave so that when they push back into you, they're getting toasted. So like, you and Sigma shouldn't be here. Really, you should actually go here. I don't like you being here as opposed to up here, but again, you just don't have time. It's constant. If you're just going to W key on main, then at least like take it here, right? So like, oh. Again, easy hooks to dodge. There's shields and distance, and they're already 80-80 strafing this way. Anyway, like, that's the other thing about the flank angle. It's a lot easier to land your hooks, right? You're just gonna brute force it. See, does your team have any angle at all? Okay, I mean, yeah, your Ashe is a good position. That's good. And your McCree is winning on a flank. We have to be at like 40% hook accuracy or something like that, if that. So again, I want you to think about like where your team's gonna be taking the fight. I would like to see you somewhere up here, maybe in here, right? Maybe around here, lurking up in here. This one's pretty like telegraphed, but it's a possibility. Okay. That being said, though, don't let this discourage you, because this is going to happen against good Sigma players and good divas and things like that. They're going to do this. This is their job. This is why I tell players to clear high ground, right? But don't let this discourage you, because you can still beat them. In other words, you can still force more resources than you're worth. So in other words, what I would do here is you can shoot shield, you can kite off. I mean, obviously you push into this, and you turn your head a little too slow. So like, really good follow-up from them, a little bit unfortunate. But what you could do here is like, let's just say theoretically the situation played a little different and you kited it. He can't push this. You will break his shield and then you'll threaten hook, right? You can kind of hold this position and stalemate. But the difference between you and he is he will demand healing and support and more members of his team to go and help him. So it will be a 2v1, which is why you should kite. Make them 2v1 you all the way over here, where it's going to actually hurt them to have that Lucio follow them. But it's going to hurt to have that BAP turn and support him instead of the right. Right now they've got nothing else better to do. There's not a lot of distraction right here, so which is why they're able to focus you down. I would not even roll out here. I would roll out here, swing it this way, come here, threaten, you know, this funny hook thing, and then do this number. Okay? If you get them to back off, then you're going to rotate to here, and then you're going to do this thing. Right? Right? That's what you're going to do. This is bonkers. Front line again. And you're going to get punished for it. So much ult charge, man. So much ult charge. Incredibly lucky. Every hook you land is a stroke of luck or a misplay from the enemy team. Like every hook you land is a stroke of luck or a misplay from the enemy team. Every single one. You see that? There's no way he should be hooked there. There's just no way. I don't want you relying on misplays, please. Your positioning was atrocious. Your positioning was atrocious. Your timing of fishing for hooks early in fight was atrocious. You need to really rethink how you're playing Hog, especially into those brawl comps. It's just not, you're not going to find value otherwise. It's just not going to work. If you aren't playing an angle or a flank around where the enemy team is taking a fight or where your team is taking a fight, preferably along sight lane, preferably high ground, somewhere where you're less accessible to the brawl comp from the Lucio, the Ryan, the Sigma, and also being unpredictable and somewhere that they can't see. So there's like there's like psychological pressure there as well. Then you need to chill.